Everyone, how are y'all doing today? I'm gonna I'm going to start to take a look at these 3 for repair SNESs that I picked up a while back. Remember, the first one was okay. It worked, at least seemingly. It does have cracks in the shell, which I'm not going to do much about. At least the top half is, damaged. The bottom half is in good shape, and it's not yellowed. Now there is a centerpiece here, jack button. These are probably good. So if I can find a replacement top shell, obviously open this up, clean it up and everything, we might be in good shape. But since we know this one works, I'm not going to look at this one first. I'm going to look at it probably last. Instead, I'm going to take a look at this second one, and I don't know if this is going to be a multi-parter or not because of the fact there are 3. It depends on what's wrong with them. But this one, games don't read. It could be a bad cartridge slot. Well, I get no picture. It could be a bad cartridge slot. Could be a loose AV port, which I think it is. Now, interestingly enough, this half is opposite. I mean, yeah, the top is kind of yellow, but it's not that bad. The bottom is severely yellowed. This is fine, though. That's fine. This rattles, too. It's not as badly chipped. Might be able to salvage that there. I could focus. So, there's a little bit of paint scuff. So, I may be able to salvage this top half and use it on the other one. We'll see. But it looked like one of the pins was kind of out of alignment. So, I'm going to see if I can't pop that back into alignment and double check the AV port. See if we can't get this working. So this would probably be a little easier to do if I just took it all apart, but oh wow, yeah, that's definitely bent. I mean, it shouldn't matter too much because it's still making contact, but the other thing I mentioned this, is that these tabs were cut off, probably to make this compatible with Super Famicom games, because for those that don't know, there is no region locking other than this physical barrier that was very easy. Ooh, the other thing I noticed, and maybe I've just never noticed before, but take a look at this power jack here. Something looks odd about it, right? Let me take a look at the other SNES just in case I'm imagining things. Oh no, it is definitely broken because this one is whole. So might have to order a power jack for it, but it did turn on. So it is making contact with the center pin as well as the outer tab. Yeah. So we're going to have to open this up just to be able to get to the cartridge slot much more easily. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws. Looks like they're game bit, of course, because nothing is ever easy in life. So I'm going to grab my game bit driver. If you don't have access to game bit drivers, you can get them pretty much anywhere online. Amazon, eBay, Ali, probably a few other places, and they're not expensive. I mean, if you pay more than $10, including shipping, and that's going to vary region to region, of course, but if you pay more than a reasonable amount, you're paying too much. I mean, you can even buy just bits for a quote-unquote precision-type screwdriver that takes these, I forget what size the bits are, but, these smaller ones, or even a full-size one that you could even use with like an electric driver. All right, let's see what kind of mess I'm going to find in here. Oh, it's not bad. Top half is really clean. You can see the yellowing, even just a slight contrast. I don't know where to put this stuff. I have no room. I have too much crap on my bench, and I need to clean it. But I don't... What? There's So the bottom half of the shell is chipped in this case instead of the top half. Although, like I said, the top half does have that one corner here, but I can probably save that just with a little bit of glue. I mean, there's a small... Oh, that's the LED light, but here's a small chip here. That's probably missing, but whatever. I'll figure that out. So let's see if we can zoom in here. Cool. Let's see if I can adjust the lighting a little. There. So you can see that the pins are kind of crooked. Even this isn't going to work. It's too large for that, so I may need to use tweezers. So we have this. Now, again, you can see these pins here are definitely out of alignment, but they are in enough alignment that it should still be making contact with the cartridge, although I can't tell if this is doubled up or if there's only one pin. This may be one of the types of connectors that can be removed. Can this... I'm pretty sure this comes out without needing to remove... Yeah, there we go. Set that to the side. And this is probably one of the earlier models where you can remove the cartridge connector because it's actually like a riser. The actual connector is actually on the board. Some of you may know, some may not. So we're going to get to see today. This shield might be in the way, so I'm going to have to remove that as well. Remind me that the brass screws go in the front and the silver-ish screws go on the cartridge slot. I have to remove the power switch as well to get to the other screw on the RF shield. Set that to the side for now. It's removable, which is nice. Alright, so this should just lift up. Yeah. So that's what it actually looks like. This is the connector itself, and this is in pretty good shape, I believe. And that comes off too. There's just these little grooves here. You can get replacement connectors, I believe, well, risers, which is awesome because it makes it a hell of a lot easier to have to repair a broken SNES than to have to sit there and try to straighten pins, especially since, and I don't know if you can see, there's that one pin, and it kind of looks like it's doubled up in front of the other pin, or maybe behind it. So let's see if I can. Yeah, so that's almost definitely what's happening there. So let's take. Most of the time, you see me work with tweezers. They were the ones that had a little bend in them. It's the first time I'm actually using these straight tweezers, and I've had them since I bought this kit a long time ago. Now, it's going to be hard to replicate the bend. But I think I have an idea. Old Dave & Buster's card. There's no points left on it, so feel free to steal the number. These are great for all kinds of things. These are good for, well, potentially straightening pins. You can wrap a microfiber cloth around it, soak it in some rubbing alcohol, and use it to clean cartridge connectors. Use it as a pry tool, use it to scrape. You don't have to necessarily have super expensive tools to get the job done, although the right tool for the right job is something that a lot of people will say. Now, there are a few more bent pins. There's one here, and here they're slightly bent, but it's not terrible. Can probably adjust those. And then on this connector there. So, and these two here. So I'm going to go ahead and try to straighten them out off camera because even if I end up recording this all, it's going to end up being cut in production or post-production. So part of the problem, and it's nothing that I'm going to necessarily be able to repair, is that there's a piece of plastic right there that's probably broken loose, and it's supposed to separate the two, well, separate all the different pins, and it's definitely broken. There's not going to be much I can do to repair that. Even if I got the shielding off, I'd have to pull every single pin out, and good luck trying to get them all back in. So I may need to replace this connector because the one right in front of it is also kind of busted. Right there too. So, and then the one on this little side connector too. So this is probably toast. I could, if it was just on the sides here and here, you wouldn't be able to use the Super Game Boy or more advanced SNES games like Super Mario RPG, Star Fox, etc. But the more basic ones like Super Mario World would still work with this basic connector here. But that's also cheating. So the third console had a stuck eject mechanism. I don't even know if it works. If turns out it doesn't for whatever reason, I'll just steal the connector from there and possibly get this one working. At the very least, I can use it for testing. I don't, unfortunately, local game stores don't sell these as replacements. They do. I have seen some of the SNES or the NES ones, but not for Super NES or Super Famicom. I'm going to have to look online for that. So unfortunately, number 2 is possibly unrepairable at this time. All right, so this is the third one, and it's obviously got a cracked shell. In fact, all the pieces for it are in the box. And this is probably the IKEA model. And then the game, the part of the console or the switch that kind of slides in to lock the game in place. For those that might not remember or know, when Super NES and Super Famicom first came out, the games had, and you can't really see, you can see this groove here, but this entire piece was filled in. There was just a little slot. And when you turned the power switch on, it slid this little lever to lock it in place. You couldn't just yank the game out during gameplay. Anyway, at some point, Nintendo said, okay, this is dumb. Let's just do away with it. In fact, the SNES Junior and the Super Famicom Junior don't even have that an eject button in there. So this we're going to have to open up to get to, and you can even see right there, it's just stuck. So all the screws are in there, so I don't think anyone's been in here. This rubber might be, no, it's still rubbery. I'll get that one later. Let's take a look inside. Okay, it's not bad. Again, dirty. It's to be expected. This console is really old. So part of the problem, I think, has to do with the cartridge cover, dust cover, being stuck. Actually, it looks like it might be a spring issue. Or it's just bent. So that'll probably have to be removed, and I'll have to see. Yeah, because if I leave it like that, actually it seems to move now freely. So not that it matters, I can move with that. So let me plug this in real quick. Actually, before I do that, here's one broken post, and the other one is right here. So I didn't go where I wanted it to, but whatever. But the cartridge connector looks good, and it looks like it's a removable one too, so if for some reason this board does not work, I can swap it with the other one, and potentially vice versa. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in real quick and see if it works, and if it does, great. If it doesn't. So I'm not getting any picture on screen, but when I turn the power on, it does flicker for a second, so there is a video signal going out. Cartridge connector might just be dirty. Let me give it a cleaning. So it did not seem to make a difference. Oh, never mind. It's working now. So I need to clean those a little bit further. Maybe I'll put some deoxit in there. Let me see if I can adjust the camera so you can see the screen, because I only brought one downstairs with me because I'm lazy. There. Oh, it's frozen. Let's reset and see what happens. Oh, controller wasn't in all the way. hard to do that when it's not a... No, yeah, it's... But it's working. Only have the left speaker hooked up because of how the setup is. I'm going to blame that on lag and not my skills. So apologies, I ran out of space. I don't know how much I recorded, but it's working. You only hear sound out of one channel because I only have one of the wires hooked up, but... So what I want to do, though, is take the riser out of this one and put it into the second one to see if I can get that one working. If it works, for a new riser. At the very least, I have good guts to put into new shells. So let me do that, and we'll continue with testing. Ignore the furnace. It got cold again. I apologize. I'll do what I can do with filtering. Just wanted to record this. This shield has 2 extra screws in the front, so this is yet another revision. So I'm hoping that this cartridge connector is removable on this one. If not, then, well, oh, that's crunchy. I think that's another post that's broken. Oh, all right. It is, thank goodness. Cool, so, yeah, those posts are broken. All right, let me do a quick swap of the consoles. All right, so this is the broken connector. And this is the good one. Hopefully, they can be swapped. Get the shoe out of the way. And they can. So, let me at least screw it in so that it doesn't become dislodged when I install and remove cartridge. And I'll put one screw into the power switch for good measure. All right, let me get a game and have everything hooked up, and we'll test it out. All right, here goes nothing. I get a screen. Let me adjust the camera again. And there you go. So this is working as well. Let me see if it'll play a game. And it does. So, so it's working. So I need a new cartridge connector. I'm going to need some shells, which is going to be very unfortunate because those are harder to come by. Although some transparent ones were released, expensive. I'm not going to look for 3 of them, but other people have been buying them, so it's possible they've unloaded their old shells online. Though it's probable that the only ones that got the replacement shells are those that had shells in similar shape to this here, yellowed and, you know, cracked and stuff. So, let me go online and do some searching, and I'll see what I can do. But this is probably going to be the end of part 1 of probably no more than part 2. I'm going to go ahead and, you know, try to find the risers. I'm going to try to find some shells or something. I can pick up potentially Super Famicom shells, and I think they make, someone made replacement inserts so that I can fit an SNES cartridge in there. Or at the very least, I can use a cartridge riser that'll take it from the Super Famicom shape to the Super Nintendo shape, at least the North American Super Nintendo shape, because Europe had the same size cartridges as Japan. So, oh, and I almost forgot, I'll have to insert this before the ending, but since this also has the kind of messed up power jack, I'm going to have to see if I can find a replacement for that as well. It might be difficult because part of it is molded into the casing itself, so it might be okay. I mean, like I said, it makes contact. We'll see. So yeah, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, feel free to do so. Never any obligation, although I do appreciate it. If you didn't like this video, please hit the thumbs down, but also leave a comment below as to why, so I can try to use that to help things going forward. Otherwise, thanks all, and I will catch you later.